In the final poem of the book, Empty Town, Yu Yoyo writes, "The people on TV violating one another, while you remain just intact and a little bored." I find the word just there heartbreaking. Just intact and a little bored. This is how many of us find ourselves in our newly empty towns. In her afterword, Rebecca Tamash writes, "To suggest that Yu's poems are universal in these explorations of becoming would be naive and would undermine the specificity of their experience of place. This is an important point. There will be much I've missed or misinterpreted for my lack of knowledge of China's contemporary poetic scene, as well as not knowing the landscapes and locations carefully placed by Yu Yoyo in her work. But I do think it's an interesting phenomenon when something seemingly static like a book can shift for the reader, so that it appears to reflect a present it couldn't possibly have foreseen, a place far away from where it was written. Yesterday, I took an online Zumba class, live with a group of women. It was glitchy, low definition, slightly dystopian, but utterly joyful. About 15 minutes in, the class was hacked. A man's voice was broadcast into our bedrooms, kitchens, garages, where we'd happily been jumping around. He told us that he hated women, that he would touch us all, then drew a swastika across our screens. The people on TV violating one another, while you remain just intact and a little bored. Yu Yoyo's poems are revolutionary. Rebecca Tamash cites A.K. Blakemore's essay for the Poetry Foundation. If you are a woman writing about your experience of being a woman, you're part of one of the most avant-garde literary movements there has ever been. Yu Yoyo's poems speak to the loneliness of isolation, but they also transcend it. Your sense of satiety, she writes, sometimes derived from the thrill of escape, sometimes from the mallow of lamplight. Mary Ruffell quotes a beautiful line from one of Emily Dickinson's letters. "But it is growing damp, and I must go. Memory's fog is rising." Dickinson, Ruffell writes, whom everyone thought of as shut in, homebound, cloistered, spoke as if she'd been out, exploring the earth her whole life, and it was finally time to go in. And it was. When I watch films of people rubbing various creams and serums into their faces with a little jade roller, I feel better, less panicky, less shut in. I love the idea that after these films, the person with their beautifully put together face goes nowhere. That instead of the preparation for an event, the process was the event. And now I, too, am ready for nothing. It is growing damp, and I must go in. Memory's fog is rising. Read Yu Yoyo. Stay safe.